Hi folks, I was thinking, like, for a long time I was so affected by things going wrong that I felt like everything I ever tried to do kept going wrong, and nothing turned out the way I hoped it would and all that. And so I ended up not even trying to do things because for a long time, for years, because I felt defeated, by life. And but one thing I've found that really helps a lot is just to actually try and do things. And like the thing of like, even though things don't work out the way I hope they will all the time, like the more often we try and do something, the more chance there is something will work out good. So, like if I try to do like 10 different things and like say like 8 of them or 4 of them work out, or just it only works out one time out of 10 that I try to do things, like if I only try to do something once and it's only going to work 1 out of 10 times, then it might never work. But if I try and do things 10 times, then something might work, and then like when it does work out well, then we can feel like good about the fact it worked out. So the more often we try and do things, that means statistically the more often something will work out, and so the more often we do things, then the more often things will work out the way we hoped they would, or they'll work out well for us. And then that means we can build up like feeling better about like life and about things, because we can start to feel like we can make things work out the way we hope to. And as long as we just keep in mind that, no matter what we try and do, nothing's ever going to always work out the way we hope it would, but if at the same time, like things don't always turn out badly, even though it feels like they do. When we're really down about stuff, it feels like nothing ever works out. I felt so bad in life that I wondered if I'd died and gone to hell, because like every single thing I did was not working out the way I hoped it would for so long, It felt like every time I tried to do something, things would end up worse, But then I realised that someone said something one time, I can't remember who it was, and I hope I remember at some point, but they said like the more often we try, the more chance there is something might work out the way we hope it will. So, and eventually I just got to the point of feeling like, and I was seeing in my life, that when I wasn't trying to do things because I felt so down, like years were going by where I wasn't even feeling like there was any point in trying to build things up, because no matter what I was trying to do seemed to make things worse, But then when I saw that years were passing by of my life, and I couldn't get those years back, it's really worth thinking about this seriously, like where, like, it made me realise, and I'm just saying this because I hope it helps other people to realise, like, that time where we don't try to make things work, we can't get that time back. So it really, really, really is worth just trying, because if we don't try and do things, then nothing's going to get better. There's a tiny statistical chance that things will get better by itself. But if we do try to do things, even though it feels impossible or it feels like there's no point, if we do try and do things, then the more things we try and do, then the more chance there is things will work out the way we hoped. And the more chance there is we can build things up to how we hoped they'll be. And especially, it was Jim Rohn that said, the ROHN, he said, like, the more things we try and do, the more chance there is something will work, So I started to do that kind of like, like instead of using a rifle, like using a machine gun and like approach, and instead of taking one shot at something, try and take about 10 or 20 or 30 shots at something. And even though it's really frustrating when the things don't work out the way we hope they will, you know, like the more shots we attempts we have on doing something, the more chance there is something will work. And also that principle of like, it was Jim Rohn again that said it, that made me realise, I think other people have probably said it as well, but like if we give ourselves lots of small tasks to do that are easily achievable, that can build us up feeling like we can achieve things as well, and that we can make positive change in our life. So like, you know, if I put on my list of things to do, like become a billionaire by tomorrow or something, that's going to be like quite unlikely, unfortunately, you know. But if I put on my list of things to do, things like when I'm really down, like, you know, put a list of things to do, like make myself a cup of tea, get out of bed, you know, get out from hiding under the duvets, and like look at my room and look at the world, and like do something I would really like to do, you know, like I don't know, watch one of my favourite comedies, or, and you know, I know that sounds like a small thing to some people, but when you're really struggling in life, it can be hard to even look out from under the duvet, you know, and anyone that mocks that is no empathy and just is psychopathic if they've no empathy, you know, so don't worry about them. Like, or only worry about them when they cause harm to us, you know, and like, but like, you know, people that are critical when you're going through tough times, you're best to avoid them at all times, you know, unless they're trying to build you up, you know, like, you know, like, because there is like constructive criticism, you know, but that's a whole other issue, like, but my point I'm wanting to try and make in this video is, it really makes a huge difference in life if we like manage to feel we can achieve things, and we can do that by doing small things and having a list of small things we'd like to achieve, because then you can score it off your list, or see on your list that, oh, I've done that, you know, and like you know, if it's like, I don't know, like wash the dishes or get my room really nice how I'd like it to, and which I'm still not the best at, and like you know, or like if you've got something you'd really like to look into, like maybe you'd be interested in studying a course or something, like put on your list, like look up on the internet like about the course I would like to do, or find something I would like to do, or even put on your list of things to do a list item of think of things I would really like to do, and then just spend the afternoon like thinking of things you'd really love to do, and small things and big things, and make a day of writing a list of things you'd love to have happen, and then break all those items down into like steps of, you know, each list item of what you'd really like to do, break it down into steps of what would I do to get to that, you know, and then try and do those things. And honestly, like, even though we can't maybe make it work every single time we try to do something, the more often we try to do things, the more often we can feel we're achieving something and building our lives up, and we can feel we have more control over how our lives developing, and that builds up how we feel. So, and it took like years for me to start feeling like better about this whole thing, like of, you know, feeling like I could make positive change in my life. But it's worth starting to do it, because at first it feels like, oh, things still go wrong all the time when I try to do things, and things never work out how I hope they will, is what I kept thinking. But then over time, when you look back over your lists of things to do, you start to think, like, if you keep on trying to do things, you start to look at your lists or remember things, and you think, oh, I have actually done that, or I did manage to make that happen, or I did manage to make that change happen. And a good one is with exercise and all that. Like, I didn't used to exercise at all, but like in the lockdowns and all that, I started to try and do regular exercise, and that can help you see the positive changes you can make in your life, where, you know, you feel a bit stronger, a bit healthier and stuff, and physically you can, you know, get more slim or whatever if you want to, you know, or bigger if you want to, you know. It's like, you know, but it's, you know, so you, like, over time, like, you can see positive changes, like and also feel like you can build up feeling like, oh, I can make positive changes happen by doing the things, and just even small things, towards building up what you want in life and what you'd like to feel you've done in life. And But what I realised with myself was when I was at my lowest, like with things, that thing of like where I felt like I didn't want to try and do anything because I felt there was no point, because I felt like no matter what I tried to do, things kept going wrong and it wasn't going to make things better. But when I was like that and not trying, nothing changed, so I ended up feeling worse, because time would go on and I would feel like, oh, my situation got worse, because if you're not trying to improve things or trying to maintain situations, then things fall apart, and you lose things. Like if you can lose your house, like you can lose the place you're renting, you can end up overrun by rats in your building if you leave food lying around all the time and all that stuff. I'm not exaggerating, and like it's so it's like if we don't do things, and we can lose relationships, like if we're really down for a long time, the people that are supportive to us can get frustrated with that and stop wanting to talk with us and stop. And like in a way it really hurts that they do that, but at the same time it's kind of understandable when someone's putting a lot of effort into like looking after you and like running the house, and if they're the one doing all the dishes and doing all the cooking and paying all the bills and all that, like then, and washing all your laundry and that, like of course if you had to do it for someone else, how long would you be happy about it? And I'm not meaning to be confrontational, but it's what I'm trying to get through is like if we don't try and take action on building up what we need to build up in our lives to break out of that depression and to make things better if we can, then things are going to get worse and we're going to lose the things we treasure, and like, I'm in a situation now where I'm realising I'm going to have to start earning money somehow, because otherwise I'm going to I could end up homeless, and like again, and like, because I was technically homeless for a while, like, I was just really lucky I had people that let me stay at their houses, but that sometimes that wasn't, I was struggling to find a place to stay and all that, and so, but that's a whole other thing for another video as well. But really my point is, if we don't start trying to build things up in our lives and we don't start trying to do things to make positive change, things can get a lot worse. But also, if we do try and make positive change and we do try and think of things we'd really like to do and write lists of things we'd like to build up in our lives and that, and then the steps to get to them, and we do those steps to get to the things we'd like to do, and we do those steps to make the changes we'd like to happen in our lives, over time we can build up feeling really much better, because and we can make our lives much better because we have built up those little steps and we have done those things, and we've built up things better in our lives, and the more things we try and do, then it means even if I try to do 8 to 10 different things, and like I can only make, say, 4 of them work out one time, and then 2 things out of 10 work out another time, and then maybe 5 times out of 10 work another time, and then maybe another time none of the times I try to do things work. But then the next time I try and do things, 10 of the things work out of the things I tried to do. Then over time, if we keep on trying to do things, even though it feels so hard to want to try doing them, if we keep on trying to do things, then we can start to build up little successes and little achievements. And like in a game, we're unlocking the achievements and all that, and we can build up our achievements and build up our lives and build up how we feel by doing all the little small things that we can think of that we would like to build up, and we really can over time make a huge positive difference to how we feel, because like now, like I still get really affected badly by how I feel and stuff and all that, and sometimes I can get knocked by life events to where I just have to hide away again from the world and all that, and recover, and like a person in shock sort of thing, to get past that, to get through that. But like because I've been building up doing things more often and trying to do things, and like my recovery time's much faster, and also I'm starting to realise that if I do try and do things, I can make a positive difference. And I might not be able to make a positive difference every single time I try and do something, but if I do 10 different things and like even 2 or 3 of them work out, that's 2 or 3 things that have built up in my life that are better. And if I keep on doing that over time, that those 2 or 3 things can become 20 different things that have worked out better in my life. That then builds up me feeling like I can make positive change in my life and all that. So and I can make better, good things happen. And then it means when things don't work out, it doesn't affect me quite so badly, because I've not just tried to do one thing and then it didn't work, so I'm feeling rubbish. Because if I try and do 10 things and it only works once, at least then the 9 times it didn't work don't feel so bad, because I got the one thing that did work, you know. So, and I know that sounds pathetic in a way, just having one thing working out, but sometimes that one thing working out can make you feel so good that, hey, I did manage to get that thing done. I did manage to get my song recorded and put onto Castle Hassle, my music channel, you know, which is really worth checking out if you want to chill out and relax with some songs about life and all that. And I'm desperate for views on there. I've only got about 20 views on some of my songs, so I'd really appreciate you checking them out. But my point is, like, even with things like that, like, for years I meant to record my songs, and I kept thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, and, you know, it never works out how I hoped to with the recordings. And then one day I just thought, I've got to get them online, because otherwise no one will ever know I did them if I suddenly stop existing, you know. And so I thought I'll just record them onto my phone and like put them online, and then even though it's not perfect, at least there's a version of it online and people can hear my songs, and you know, like, and even though it's not perfect, I can do another version later. And it's like that with doing things, like, even if we don't manage to do it perfectly, if we just try and do the thing, and that we can always do it better again later, or we can always learn from it as well, and like learn what does work and what doesn't, and what to avoid in future, what to do, like, and like with friendships, like we can approach it like that, like what is a good friendship, what do we learn from what we do, like, you know, what do we learn from our interactions with people when we try, and if people treat us bad, then we know to ignore them, and even though it hurts and all that, at least we've learned then that those people are best avoided. And then people that are good to us, when we try to build friendships, we know that they're worth pursuing friendships with and building friendships with, you know, when they're good-hearted to us, you know. And so by trying to do things and by trying to build things up and just trying little things and little missions, you know, like thinking, oh, I could try and build a friendship with this person because they've been good to me in the past, and, you know, send a wee message to them asking how they're doing, or, you know, like, and if they're horrible to us, or if they ignore us, we know at least we can know we've tried, and that those people aren't worth trying to pursue a friendship with, and so we can build ourselves up and feel like, and also treat yourself good, you know, like if things go wrong, like sometimes we need recovery time if we've put a lot of emotional effort into something, and, you know, things have not worked out, or we really hoped something would work out and it doesn't. You know, be kind to yourself if it doesn't work out. But I think the key thing is, like, to keep trying to find other things that are good to do, or trying to find ways to make it work, and like the things we really want to build up, if we have a definite aim we really want to get to, we can like start to build towards it and figure out what steps to do to get there, and then try and do those steps and learn from the things that don't work and the things that do work, and then over time we can get to where we want to go, you know. And but I think really the main point of this video, like which was supposed to be a short one, funnily enough, the recurring theme in my videos, meaning to do a minute-long video and turning into nearly 20 minutes now. So thanks for still watching if you're here. And but like, yeah, the main point is basically, I was meaning to say, like, I was totally defeated by life, and honestly, like, totally, I was close to being totally defeated by it all a few times, and one time in particular, but I kept on trying. And because I didn't want to make someone really sad, and like by giving in, and like, so please keep on trying, and like if things are getting really tough, like, be kind to yourself, but try and think of something you'd love to build up, even a little small thing that you'd really like that would make you feel nice, like, I don't know, like getting all comfy in your bed or something. Like make it a mission to make yourself as comfortable in bed as possible while you recover, you know, like that'd be a nice thing to do for the day, you know. And then think to yourself, what would I really like to start to build up in my life? What would I love to do? And then spend a day, have a mission of a day, a mission for your day of just thinking about what you'd really love to have happen in life, and then like writing down the things you think about that you'd love to have happen, and then have a day thinking about what steps could I make to make those things happen that I would love to have happen, and then have days of thinking, right, I'm going to try and do these steps, and if it doesn't work out, I'm going to keep on trying to do them until they work out. And if I can find a quicker way to get to what I want, I'll do that. And like if I can find a solution to a thing that's stopping me getting to what I want, I'll try and do that. And like if there's steps that we like know are really going to help us to get to where we want, we can build up being able to do them and build up doing them. And if there's skills we need to learn, we can look it up on YouTube videos or like on the internet. We can look up, how do I learn how to do this? How do I fix my car? Why is my car not starting? And like look up the videos, and you know, like all that stuff. Like how can I earn money from my house if I can't cope with going out to work? You know, like you know, stuff like that. We can learn about things, and we can look for answers to the things we would love to do, and build that up. And we don't have to do all the crap that people tell us we have to do, like according to their opinion. I think the key thing is in recovery from things and in life is like think about what would you really, really, really like to do, and write out what you'd really like to do and build up in your life and what you'd like to aim for, and then try and figure out what steps could I make to get to there, and research like what you know, look up online or on YouTube, like what could I do to get to that step happening, what could I do to make that happen, and then try and do the things. And honestly, like if you try 100 times to do something, I'm pretty sure that at some point it's going to work, you know. So like don't give up when things keep going wrong, because if we keep on trying, we can make it work. I'm sure of it. And also, even if it's not working out, at least we're trying, and you never know, one day it might work. So yeah, please keep on trying, and try and figure out what you'd really love to do, and try and figure out the steps that you'd like to do, and write down the steps and the lists of things you'd like to do, and the lists of things that could make your hopes happen, you know, lists of things that could make your hoped for things happen. And you know, like try and do those steps, and like, you know, each step might take 2 or 3 times to make it happen, or some things might take months to build up, like learning to play the guitar or something like that took me years, you know, like you know, but we can start, and we can learn like how do I put the strings on a guitar, look up a video, how do I tune a guitar. And it gets frustrating because you can't do the things you want to do straight away, but if you persist at it and keep on trying, you can build it up. And it gets so frustrating sometimes, and so anger inducing when we can't make things happen when we keep on trying. But if you keep on trying, and you keep on trying to learn from your mistakes, and keep on trying to find good information on how to make things work better, but you have to actually try and do the thing. Like if you want to learn to play guitar, no matter how many videos you watch, you'll never learn. But you have to pick up a guitar and actually play it, and actually try and hit the strings and try and hold down the chords. And it's much more difficult than people realise. But then if you keep on trying, over time, you'll build up the skills to be able to do it, and you'll suddenly find yourself able to do things that you thought were impossible, you know, just if you keep on trying. So like, but it takes just trying. You've got to try. And I know when you're feeling really down and you're feeling really beaten by life, it feels like impossible to even want to try. But if we don't try and do things, then life is just going to get worse and worse and worse, and we're going to feel worse and worse and worse. And there comes a point, I'm sorry to say, but there comes a point where for me it became a decision where I thought, if I don't start trying to do things to make things better, then things are going to get worse, and I would end up dead. Like, I nearly got beaten by the life thing, all the tough stuff and all that. I'm not joking. Like, and like the decision I made one day was, I'm going to have to start trying, and if we don't try and build things up, it's your choice what you do, of course, like, but for me, I personally feel like I didn't want to just give in anymore, like, to it. I didn't want to let the bad guys beat me. I didn't want to let the bad things that people had done beat me. Like, I didn't want them to be able to look at my life and for them to be able to feel like, haha, look at the state of him, like, and like, because some of them were really nasty people that really messed up my heart and all that, and like they wanted to damage me emotionally and all that, and like, which is a whole other thing for another video. But like, really what it made me realise is one day I just suddenly thought, I don't want to let those beeps beat me. Like, I don't want to let them be the winners in this. I want to be the winner when they tried to knock me down, when they tried to destroy my life. I want to be the winner in that battle, in that conflict. And I know some people will be like, oh, you shouldn't think of it in that way, but then, like, no one has a right to tell a victim of something how they should feel about things, and how they should like recover from things, and I think for me personally, like, after abuse of people and stuff in life and in business and all that, like, I realised I don't want to let all the bad things beat me and all the bad people beat me, and for them to be winners at my expense. Like, some of them at different times took massive resources of mine by tricking me into thinking they cared about me and that, and got my houses and all this stuff, and like, so I lost a lot of things to different people, and also, people's lives were lost at different times, which is a whole other thing for other videos. But it's like, the bad people in the world can make us feel terrible in life, and like, I think they can make us want to just give up, and like, we can feel so bad that we just want to give up in life. And I really think it makes such a difference to recovery and to how our lives go, and over the long term, if we survive, like, when we look back on life, at least we'll be able to feel like we tried, and that's a great thing, to be able to feel, rather than like looking back in 20 or 30 years and thinking, shit, excuse my language, I let the bad guys beat me, I let the bad women beat me, I let the bad people beat me, like, and I let them destroy my life, and I let them crush me, like, into not even feeling like trying to do anything in my life. And I didn't want to feel like that anymore, and I didn't want to let them win. But I think my main point, this is all getting on to a bit heavier angle and stuff, but really I was just wanting to say, like, we can get really beaten by life and by people, but like, I think a massive thing to build ourselves back up again is to just try and do things and to try and build things up. And even though it feels like we don't want to try because we've been hit so hard by stuff in life, it can make a huge difference in our lives if we just try and, like, just really just think, what would I really love to build up, and what do I need to protect around me, what do I need to keep in my life, and what do I need to do to stop losing more in my life and all that, and then think of the steps we can do to make the things happen and to protect the things we care about and to protect what we have in life and all that, and really think, what would I like to do in life, what would I like to build up, and then write down the steps, and the more try and do the steps to make the things happen that we want in life. And the more things we try and do, the more things are going to work out and the better we can feel. And so I hope this is helpful, and let me know if you've got any ideas on how to get more things done, and your ways of getting through tough days, and your ways of keep staying on target for doing the things you meant to do, and you hope to do, because it'd be really good to hear if anyone's got any ideas about ways to get through the tough days where we don't feel like doing things. But I think just keeping on reminding ourselves that what we would love to do, and also it's better to like try, and like, you know, and it feels better to just try and like have recovery time when we're having tough days, but it feels better to feel like we're trying to do even small things to build up our day, and then we can look back over our days and feel like, hey, I tried to do that and that worked out, and things got better, and so I hope you have a good day, and keep on trying, and the more things we try and do, the more chance there is things will work out good. So don't let those bastards make you stop wanting to try. Let's show them that we're going to keep on trying. We're going to keep on trying to build up our lives no matter what they try to do to us. And good luck, folks, and let's keep on trying to build up our lives, and let's make this happen. Lots of love to you. See you later. Bye.